She Loves Herself with Jill Ritchie, showing you how to embrace vulnerability and unearth your power within.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of She Loves Herself podcast in collaboration with the Intuitive Psychology Association. And of course, I am joined by my lovely friend and co-founder of IPA, Sarah Gregg. Sarah, welcome.
Hello. Excited for today's episode. This is it's a juicy one, it's a bold one, and we're here for it.
It's a bold one and it's a juicy one, but you know what? We're here to spill the tea, and we talk about being your authentic self and being in your authenticity. And something that is really important to us, and we've had to learn along the way, is you cannot please everyone with your words and your message and what you say, but you've got to speak your truth. And you and I have been in this industry for quite a long time, and we've seen a lot of people come and go. And we've been seeing a lot of, I was going to say a lot of good, but if I'm honest, I've seen more not so good than good.
Yeah.
But there are, like, before we even start on this, there are amazing coaches out there, but there's a lot of noise in the industry. And we have titled this episode, Why Life Coaching is Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start, like, why life coaching is dead. Sarah, before I actually hand it over to you, we actually spoke to someone today, and she actually said to us, like, life coaching's pretty much dead, right? She said that she's actually embarrassed to say she's a life coach. And not only that, I saw a post from a coach that I know who's a really good coach, actually, and she said that she felt embarrassed telling people she was a life coach, so she's pulled away from the industry. So there's two things in the space of a day.
Yeah. So RIP to life coaching as we know it, I would say. So there are great life coaches out there. If you're listening to this and you're automatically triggered, we gotta hear us out for a second, because I think if you even listen for a couple of minutes, you will be nodding in frantic agreement. Here's why life coaching is dead. Life coaching is dead because it's an unregulated industry that saw a significant boom because we are in trying times as a society where consciousness is rising, where people are recognizing that they need to go inwards and work on themselves if they want to change their outer reality, where people want the help of outside experts to guide them. They were things that didn't necessarily exist in our day and our time. I think the closest we probably had to it was like, well, the closest I had to it was like the Ricky Lake show, probably, you know, and like kind of like cheesy talk shows where they talked about emotions. But times have shifted significantly, and we now recognize that we are products of our past, that the past lives within us, you know, emotionally. We know that trauma can be stored in the body, big T, small t, that leads to illness. You know, we carry kind of the past with us in our everyday lives. And that has changed. But what we saw in life coaching was a huge amount of people going on their personal development journeys and reading a couple of books and a few podcasts, and then believing that they had the ability to change other people's lives. And because life coaching is an unregulated industry, some people went into that with some people not well intentioned, some people just purely there to profit off people's pain, other people well intentioned but ill equipped to do that. Because when you're working with someone's internal world, when you're working with their belief systems, when you're working with their past, it is not enough to use your personal experience. In my professional opinion, I really stand by and believe that. Can you be a great intuitive led coach? 100%. Does your personal experience enable you to help and serve people? Totally. Can you do it in a professional capacity without any training? I don't see why you would. Honestly, my question to that person would be, why are you not training? Why do you not? Why do you believe that you have all of the skills in this world to help somebody? Why would you not enroll and enlist in a program where potentially you could learn more? And I think that is why life coaching is dead. And what we're seeing is a new rise of people who honor and respect this as a profession. who see the role that incredible coaches play in people's lives, who want this industry to be regulated, established, who don't want to be self-conscious about what they do, and who want to be in the same category as other highly regarded professions, because the work that coaches do is phenomenal and it's great and it's brilliant, but it is a profession. And I believe, and I stand by this, that if if you want to be a professional in this field, you have to train like the coach you would hire. And I would not put my consciousness and my life in the hands of someone who hadn't trained and wasn't accredited. I wouldn't do it. And I think that more coaches, my hope for the future is that coaching becomes a regulated industry. And that doesn't mean that there's a lack of innovation. There's plenty of scope and space. We are accredited by the Association for Coaching. We fuse science and spirituality. We're very, very innovative in our approach. There's room for innovation within a regulated industry. Of course there is. But coaching has to change. It's not enough to do the 1980s approach of, have a quick conversation with a client, tell them to set a goal, set some actions around the goal, and then, shake their hand and see them on their way. That doesn't work. And clients don't want that anymore because they can do that for themselves.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you, that was going to be my next question. Why is life coaching not enough now?
Yeah, I think life coaching in the traditional form. So when we talk about life coaching, we're talking about the standard approach, which is, hi client, what issue do you have? Oh, I'm really struggling to set these business. I really can't achieve these business goals. Okay, let's break down your goals into smaller chunks, and then we'll see you next Wednesday, and you go off and do it. That doesn't work because that's not how consciousness works. And we know that now on a deeper level. That's just cause and effect behavior change. And actually, we know that 95% of our behaviors are governed by our subconscious, unconscious. That kind of rules the show. So, unless you're working with that, you're not really creating any change. You're just consciously struggling through life. Anyone that has set a goal that they have to really exceed a lot of effort to achieve because they're actively overriding their behavior patterns because they've got to go, like, I've got to do this. No, I said I was going to do it. I'm going to push myself through. And it feels like so much willpower and so much effort. That's a really, really hard and difficult way to evoke change. When you actually get to the root need and you know how to do that in a coaching capacity with a professional framework and with techniques, when you can go to the need and you can understand, what need isn't being met, what's really going on in the background, what's going on in the 95% that the client can't see, you bring the unconscious into the client's conscious awareness. We've all had that moment, that those beautiful aha moments where you go, oh my goodness, that's why I'm doing that. I get that now. I mean, clients will pay significantly for that, for you to show them what they can't see, then all of a sudden the behavior change happens naturally because they don't have to struggle to consciously override it because they move into alignment with themselves and it doesn't feel effortful, it doesn't feel forceful, it feels like authenticity. And that's what clients want and that's what clients deserve.
I love that you said clients deserve it. Let's talk about, Sarah, the industry as a whole, because you have your coaches that are accredited in life coaching, but actually it was really good at the time, but consciousness has evolved so much. And actually these coaches are so well intended and they're great at what they do, but they need to upskill because nothing stays the same. And it's time to almost be like, okay, I know that you're a great coach, but do you know how to work with the unconscious? Do you know how to work with the shadow? Do you know how to work with big T trauma, small T trauma? And that might be something that you never want to do. But if you are really interested in creating the most exceptional results for your clients that puts them back in the driving seat and give them back the keys to their life, to their freedom, then you need to upskill, because doing basic is basic. It's not enough anymore. And so we understand and we recognize and we absolutely salute anyone that is in the industry for the right reasons. You need to be honest with yourself. If you are like, I'm not really getting the results I want anymore, I used to, but things have changed, I'm not really comfortable charging my worth anymore, I'm seeing these other people that are charging a lot and I'm not, then really take a look at what are your gaps? Like, what are your gaps and how can you bridge those gaps, and make sure that you don't just take a scattergun approach and start training and things. Like at the association at IPA, we have this framework, right? We have this world-class framework where it's, the shadow alchemy coaching method. You come, you train with us, and it is the most innovative, incredible techniques that we train you in. You're certified in there's 8 certifications in 1 diploma. It's massive. We are accredited by the Association for Coaching. And that isn't me just sharing that to say, come and train with us, although please come and train with us if you are, because there's no one doing what we're doing right now. But it doesn't mean that you need to sack off like being a life coach. If you have that pull and you know that you've got something within you, you maybe just need to bridge that gap. You maybe just need to upskill. There are things that you can do. Things are evolving all the time. You cannot just train in one thing and stay there for 10 years and expect to get the same results, especially as consciousness is evolving. The other part I want to touch on, Sarah, is the industry for the people that do the $7.99 courses, right? So we've got the coaches that are in the industry for the right reasons, and we've maybe got some people that have thought, okay, I'll become a life coach. I've got experience in life. I've been through a lot. I've navigated a lot. I'm going to just do this $7.99 course so that I can get my certification. Let's talk about those people, because for me, there's probably a lot of those people that, again, are good, like they've got good questions, right? But they get sucked up in this nonsense. Would you honestly want to put your life, your happiness into someone's hands that just did a $7.99 course? Really?
I know. And this is where, marketers really prey on the vulnerability piece of making it sound really, really easily and speaking to the part of you that wants it to be true. It's discounted down from like £3,000 and now it's like £799. And do you have personal experience? And this is a certification and you'll be a certified life coach. Let's just break this down. There is a difference between a certified life coach and an accredited life coach, and that's really important to note. Anyone, because it's an unregulated industry, can pop your name on a PDF document and email it across to you and certify you as a life coach. They don't even have you. You can just call yourself a life coach. That's up to you. And it's a shame because if you're tempted by those, maybe you've even bought one. I get it because you think, oh, I'll just take the shortcut. Oh, I don't need an accreditation. I can just use my personal experience, and here's like I don't know, coachingworld.com. Who'll certify me for $7.99, and I can like show it to people. Yeah, okay, but if that's in alignment with you, you've really got to question that.
Sorry,
Like
it's lazy.
like because it's not, and honestly, that shortcut will be your career suicide in coaching because you won't last, and you won't last because you won't be able to get results. So you'll get some shiny marketing, you might get a handful of clients in, and then you will feel overwhelmed because you will have clients sitting in front of you that you cannot work with and that you end up mentoring and speaking at. They get frustrated because you're just telling them what to do rather than coaching them. And then it dies away. And then that part of you that knows that you're meant to do this work, you've sabotaged it because you haven't honored it, and you don't have reverence for the craft that is coaching. If you really, really want to be a professional in this field, you need to have a professional certification, is my belief and my stance. And again, some people go like, well, why do I have to do that? And again, my question, I've said this already, like, why would you not want to? Why would you not want to train and learn and further your skills? I don't.
It's lazy, and I get it because we all like a wee shortcut. But seriously,
Yeah.
would you go to a surgeon like that wasn't a surgeon? Would you just go to your neighbour and say, do you know what? Just perform like back surgery on me? Like seriously, it's like that is just ridiculous, because if you really care and you really want to get the best results for your clients, then you need to train it and treat it, train properly so that you can have that confidence to, number one, hold the space for them, get them exceptional results, then you'll get repeat business. You won't have to always be trying to sell, word of mouth,
Yeah.
all of these things like the $7.99. I just feel like I hope it becomes regulated, Sarah, because it should be. We need to treat it as important as it is. I remember, and you'll remember this, about a year and a half ago, I had a bit of a spat with someone who's in the industry, who's not accredited, by the way, and who was saying that she was this person in the industry, but also not only that, her people that were working with her, that were being coached by her, she was getting them to say that they were the elite of the industry and they were the number one in the industry. And it turned my stomach and it angered me, because I thought some of those people were working with children, some of those people were working with vulnerable people, and they're just putting a shiny title on who they are with no proper qualification. And it infuriated me, because I have nothing to do with that person anymore. It's so out of integrity. It is unbelievable. And I remember saying to her, like, that is like me just saying, I'm the number one heart surgeon in the
Yeah.
world. Well, someone once said I could be. All right, I'll just call myself that. Like, that is how ridiculous it is. And honestly, it really needs a shake up. And this is one of the reasons why we created IPA.
It is.
Our application form was 82 pages just to get the application in. But we knew that it had to be accredited. It had to go through rigorous testing,
Yeah.
everything with a fine tooth comb by a separate body who actually then stamped it and said, yeah, that's it. Now, just because we knew it, that wasn't enough for us. Sarah and I have got years of experience. We have trained in various modalities. We have thousands of hours of experience. But unless you train properly, you are projecting your map of the world onto that person. You think your experience is enough. It's not, because what happens is everyone that comes to you, you create cookie cutter versions of yourself. Well, this is how I did it, so this is how you should do it. And when someone comes to you with something, you start to maybe judge. You have preconceived ideas. You absolutely project your map of the world and tell them how they should live. At IPA, it's all about unconditional positive regard. Regardless of who's sitting in front of you, how do you honor that person and hold them in unconditional love? It might not be how you live your life, but we train you in a way to be able to hold that space so beautifully. If you're just coming at it from your experience, it's always about your map of the world.
She Loves Herself with Jill Ritchie.
Hey everyone, I am quickly interrupting this episode to tell you how you can win a £10,000 giveaway with the Intuitive Psychology Association and She Loves Herself podcast. To celebrate season 10X, we are giving away a fully funded place training with the Intuitive Psychology Association this October, which means your fees are fully funded on us. So if you have ever thought about training with the Intuitive Psychology Association, if you would like to up level, upskill and become an intuitive psychology coach with us, which means you are fully accredited to the top level of coaching, then this is the competition for you. All you need to do is make sure that you head over to Instagram to follow both She Loves Herself, the podcast, and the Intuitive Psychology Association. You need to like the post, you need to tag 2 of your friends and share it across your social media platform. If you would like 10 additional entries, so 10 times the opportunity to win this prize, all you need to do is leave a 5-star review on this episode. Good luck.
Yeah. I love this. There's 2 kind of like points I'd love just to add on. So very briefly, on the personal experience. here's the thing, personal experience might lead you to that point of knowing that you want to help people and knowing because you've experienced that change, but professional expertise will take that to a different level. And that's so, so important. And the second bit is I love that you brought up the story about, you know, number one and whatever. And we do say, we train world-class coaches. And it was so important for us that, because that term, again, is kind of bandied about the place a lot, we're world class. I want to say we use world class because we can evidence it. So we are the world's first and only people to accredit intuitive psychology coaches. We hold the trademark for that. We accredit our coaches to the highest level possible in the industry within 6 months. We are one of 11 organizations in the world who can accredit to advanced diploma level. So when we say we are world class, we're just not using that because it's a fancy term that sounds good. We use it because we know it and we can evidence it, and we bleed that world class ethos into every single thing that we do, from training all the way through to post certification support and beyond. And it is so important to us that when our intuitive psychology coaches go out into the world, that they are trained to the highest level, that they have continuous support, whether that's through our IPA Development Hub, which is a free resource for students and graduates for the lifetime, for as long as kind of like IPA is available, whether they become a professional member with us, whatever that looks like. It is so important to us because we value this profession. And when we say, life coaching is dead, for us it is. For us, in terms of where the world is going, how even technology is involved. You've got apps on your phone that can hold you accountable. Do you know? Like, you don't need stuff like that anymore. People want more, clients want more, they deserve more. And if you want to be at the cutting edge in your field, if you want to blend science and spirituality, if you want a new proven framework to coach, then you've got to upskill. And why wouldn't you? Every other profession does it all of the time. And do you know what? If you're triggered by this, good, because you probably need to hear it, because it's uncovering something in you that feels uncomfortable, because maybe you're not fulfilling your full potential as a coach. Maybe that you can go deeper with clients, maybe you feel it. So if this conversation is really, really irritating the life out of you, maybe lean in and just kind of like work with that a little bit. We know that we're not for everybody. We're not here to be for everybody. We're here for coaches that want to treat this as a profession, who want to work with their dream clients, who want to work with corporates, who want to run workshops, who want to run retreats, who want to be world class, and who want to hold this profession in the highest reverence possible and change people's lives. We are here for those people. We're here to serve those people, and we're here to deliver the most excellent form of training that they could ever experience. And we're here to hold them throughout their journey. We're not here for someone that wants to do a 7.99 course. And I really feel like we need to be unapologetic about that. And that's not to offend anybody, although I know that it will, but that's us standing in our truth to say we are working with people's lives. And why wouldn't we hold that in the highest level possible? Like, it should be held in the highest level possible.
Completely and utterly. And I am 100% full body yes to everything you said and more there. And actually, when I went back to that one person that I was talking about, who was calling herself and all of her people that worked with her number one in the world and all that nonsense when it wasn't truth, that was a real call for me to actually create IPA, because this kept showing itself to me, Andrew. And I remember
Yeah.
conversations, and it was like, people are talking shit. This is not fair. This is people's lives. We need to treat it with importance. And like, this is people's mental health. This is their life.
This is so shocking. This is how dark this industry can be. I went to one workshop once, and I'll not disclose full details on it. And it was about removing subconscious, unconscious beliefs. And the marketing was so spoke to me on every level. And I was like, oh, this sounds really, really interesting. And I went, and it was this lady who was facilitating it. And I'm not joking you, this is hand on my heart truth. At one stage, she gave out to the audience fridge magnets. You know those fridge magnets that have letters on them, like the you stick on, you spell out words. She handed those and got people to move them over their heads to clear their belief systems. And she could see my face tells everything. I've total face leakage. If I'm not happy with something, you'll know all about it. And I remember just going, what is happening here? This is awful. This is a room full of vulnerable people who are really, really looking for help. And she said, oh, you don't need one because I can tell that you're clear. And I thought, no, I don't need one because you can tell that if you give this to me, I'm going to call you out. And my only regret about that is I wish I had said something during the session, but I didn't. And I hate that about this industry. And if us being strong and taking up this space eradicates that absolute nonsense and profiteering, then good, because I don't want those people in this industry. It gives the great coaches such a bad name. Such a bad name. No one should feel self-conscious about wanting to help people, not one single person. Everybody should wear that with absolute pride that you're making a difference in this world. And I cannot stand people that come into this industry and
Talk
and
shit.
don't yeah, and talk shit. And just pull
But this
stuff,
is what you're
make
doing.
stuff up. Yeah,
This is it. How many times did I invest in people
I know.
thinking, oh my God, like their marketing was brilliant. And then within weeks, I was like, that's another £80,000 I've just wasted. Absolute tosh. Absolute tosh. And they play on the vulnerable. And you know what? We cannot stop everyone, but what this call was for us was to be the change we wanted to see in the world, because
Yeah,
I complained about it all the time to the point I got sick of my own voice. And I was like, and again, when that last thing happened, just as IP was being created, one of my friends who's a coach actually said, this is a call. This keeps
hmm
happening to you because you need to create this. And it's like, absolutely, thank you, universe. Because sometimes we don't see what we're supposed to be seeing. The universe is throwing it at you all the time. Are you going to keep ignoring the signs, or are you going to step up and then really enjoy
yeah,
expressing, enjoy learning, enjoy becoming the best coach that you can be, who has the most incredible techniques, who makes the most impact in the world, leaves the world better than you found it, creates a legacy. The invitation is there for you to do it. And if you want to not just be a life coach, then come and be an intuitive psychology coach with us. Come and like find out more about us. You can visit our website. I'll drop the links. There's so much information in there. We have a masterclass. We've got lots of free content. We also have our Confident Coach Bootcamp on there. It's a 4-day bootcamp. And it's on offer right now for £22, which is a 4-day bootcamp. And guys, like, go along, do it, embody it, and then come back and tell us that you didn't get something from it, because I can
hmm
guarantee you that that will not be the case. Um,
And
I
there's
am
never been a better time to get into coaching. It's going to be a £25 billion industry. More people than ever are seeking a coach. Like the stats are up significantly for this industry. The opportunities are there for the right coaches. For the right coaches, if you want to train, if you want to make a career change, if you feel called to do this, if you want to treat it as a profession, then look at the website, read what we're about. Because it's
applications.
there is and applications are open.
Applications
There's
are open.
yeah, and unlimited places are limited. Like we're so protective over the Intuitive Psychology Association. You need to apply. We need to have a call with you. And applications only open twice a year. So don't wait. If you're listening to this, we have some apply and save offers that are on now. They're on the website. Like head on over, check it out. And if this is speaking to you on a soul level and you're like, yes, 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 come into our world, eradicate the noise of the other stuff, and things will change. It really will change.
Love it. Amazing. Another amazing episode, Sarah. It always is. Thank you
Mm.
so much. And thank you for you, the listener, for listening in. And please share with anyone that you think this will resonate with, anyone that you think this episode will really speak to. And of course, I will drink, I will drop all the links in the show. We'll see you very, very soon.
Bye.